an extremely high grade example of one of the most important trading cards ever made, and it's anecdotal and everyone has their own opinions on it, but we personally feel that the number one, like, turn of the century tobacco candy era blue chip trading card in the world is the T206 Ty Cobbs, and within the T206 Ty Cobbs, it's the red portrait, this example, that we consider to be the number one blue chip, just in terms of public appeal, pervasiveness, beauty, popularity, and luckily it's not so rare that you can't find it. One of the things that investors are starting to understand is that scarcity works against liquidity, and the scarcest, rarest cards, while they will always be fine art pieces that are interesting investments in their own right, the liquid blue chips are the ones that actually trade more readily and are the most popular cards. So the popularity combined with availability are actually important attributes for a trading card in terms of ROI and its blue chip status. And for us, the red portrait Ty Cobb is the number one blue chip from turn of the century. There's just something about these red background cards that are just extremely attractive. It's hard to believe that a coloring like this can have been printed 110 years ago and still be so vibrant. This particular example, it's the color and the focus that probably sets it off as its best attributes. We have a 60-40 centering shift and just light corner wear overall, but all told, this is one of the higher graded red portrait Cobbs that we've brokered in our history, and as it sits, it's one of the most important investment pieces that exists in our market today. Very, very rarely do we see examples of this magnitude surface on the open market, and what few copies do exist, they're just getting rarer and rarer, harder and harder to find. So we mentioned there's a little bit of corner wear. The corners are all square, just very, very light fraying at the extreme tips of the enamel. Bit more wear to the bottom right here. You can see just a subtle little bump. But the focus in the print, I'd say, is what makes this particular example so special. Sometimes we see a focus shift, in and around his face and whatnot. This one is about as crisp as you're ever going to see, and the red print is undeniably flawless. Really beautiful card. From the back, very similar to the front, just very, very light wear. So, all told, it's just a really important card. I think the market is maturing around understanding just how important it is, and as time wears on, that importance, I think, is going to increase in magnitude. Just a beautiful, beautiful investment piece from the turn of the century, and comes highly recommended.